That is awesome. Hey guys, welcome to the Half-Ass Sportscast. I am Ryan.
And I am Jonny, and we don't have full nicknames yet, but...
Well, I'll do my best.
We're in a brewery right now, so
Yeah.
you have to excuse things like that.
So I guess this is our trial run.
Our first actual show will be on this Wednesday.
This Wednesday,
in 2
guys.
days. For those of you keeping track.
Not 3,
It's
not
2
1, but 2 days.
Away. We should probably
Like
get
in
a show
hockey,
together.
there's like 3
for that.
periods.
Are you guys on at 8?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
8 o'clock Central Time.
I just use my toes.
9/8 Central.
Look at this.
Oh, they're getting sidetracked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys
So-
talk about soccer,
So we'll
right?
see if we can do something about your Skype connection because it's been pretty god awful tonight. It's,
Wait, what? Our connection's awful?
Yeah, the Skype has been like terrible tonight.
Where
So,
you guys
I don't know if
Your
that's
mom
on my
goes
end
to
or what.
college.
place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be any better.
We're going to be broadcasting from an undisclosed location somewhere in Fort Worth.
Deep in the mountains of Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you we have a
Top secret.
a female co-host for you.
No, I thought Ryan was the female co-host.
Whoa!
This guy.
Look at that.
Below the belt, sir. Go back to your corner.
Yeah.
Points will be deducted. We're so
Alright.
sportsing it up right
Listen.
now.
This episode, this is kind of like a mini episode. I don't know if it's going to be a full-on episode yet. We'll see what happens.
What will
But
you be talking about?
It depends if we suck or
We're-
not.
Wednesday,
this the half
we haven't
hour.
decided yet. We haven't.
Well,
It's
this is
not
half-ass.
Wednesday, so we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is. We call it the Half-Ass Sportscast for a reason. It's very
Our-
fly by the seat of your
Our
pants.
sports sundial is
Half of
not
your
at
pants.
noon until it's 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday.
Yeah. But what we are going to be talking about today, I know that, is the Super Bowl.
Oh,
The
you're
what?
Gonna, you're going to drive them away now.
Wait, am I allowed to say Super Bowl? Is this like one of those things?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
they
big
I got
game.
permission from the NFL.
We got permission.
We can't. We don't have to say the big game.
We asked the
We're
NFL
pretty
to say
big time.
something If they didn't want us to say about
And
it.
they didn't.
Yeah.
So we're fine.
I have gotten no response, so thank you to the National Football League. Appreciate
Thank you.
that for supporting Lone Star.
Guys,
Thank you. So I did.
Did you watch
I
it?
think here's the thing. In my list of let's say my top 4 sports, NFL doesn't make the list, but I did
Blasphemy.
sit down and I watched the Super Bowl, and it was very entertaining. It was good. It was a close game, so it was fun to watch. You know, there was lots of excitement. I didn't really have any interest in either team. I rooted for Green Bay because they're kind of the underdog, and I like underdogs.
they were
So,
saying
Even though everybody was favoring them to win. Yeah, they were picked to win, but they...
Not a lot, but it was by 2.5.
Right, yeah. It was... They've won less recently than the Steelers,
Yeah.
so... And they had less guys with Super Bowl rings on the team. Apparently that's a big
I liked
deal.
it because they didn't further distance themselves from the most Super Bowls won by a team. You know, 'cause-
Right.
Yeah,
The
and
Steelers
that's
would-
where I come in because I do like football, unlike Nazi Johnny over here, who does not like everything
Yeah.
that America stands for.
I'm pretty communist. I'm
I-
a bit of a communist.
I love football.
Yeah,
I love football, and football loves me.
yeah.
And I am a Cowboy fan.
But you don't love college football.
I do not like college football because it's not a sport.
Yeah, I'm not into
That's
that.
American.
I'm not...
A college
We'll
football.
talk about that at another
Well, I
time.
think all of football.
But
is
I was
American,
going for the
but-
Packers. I was Packers
I
all
also-
the way.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I did root for the Packers because I picked them to win on
Because
my
they're publicly owned?
cash.
They are publicly
I
owned,
really needed them to win.
Which doesn't help the NFL's the owner's case in the new CBA
Yeah, things
Do
like
they
because
that.
have,
their books are public.
Do every owner of the Packers get to be at the?
It's owned by a majority conglomerate of the city, so it's publicly
It's like a
owned,
co-op.
but they have a head of somebody that runs it, kind of like an owner would, but it's yeah, like I said, like it's a big thing with the new CBA is that nobody could see anybody's books but Green Bay's, and just there's an article a couple months ago about what kind of churching up they might have done to it to make it look like a little bit better for the owners, so they're not making so much money hand over fist, and they really do need to,
Yeah.
Well,
make
it's
a better deal with the players.
It's a
You
business,
missed.
so you're always
You
going
missed.
to do that.
Yeah.
You're going to use whatever possible ways that you can make something look like it costs more, so you don't have to pay taxes on the money you work.
Exactly.
Right.
Because, it's very American to tax the people that happen to be making money. So if you make some money, they want a piece of it.
So Anyway, luckily, getting back to the game, luckily the Packers did win.
They did.
And those dirty Steelers, sorry.
They're filthy.
I'm fair.
Their quarterback raped somebody, so...
Ben Rapelessberger?
During the show? I
The
missed
TCU
that.
story? Oh,
What quarter was that in?
No. This was prior to the game. Yeah. Well...
Yeah, I didn't watch the pregame show.
So I have a friend who goes to TCU. He works for the football team.
Ooh.
And
he's a big shot.
Scoreboard. Yeah, I know somebody. So he was the Steelers were practicing over at the TCU stadium, or not the stadium, but their practice facilities indoors. And he said that the bunch of students had made a sign that said, if I can get this correct, "Hey Ben, these frogs aren't horny for you." Like a giant van-size sign. So anyway, maybe we could talk a little bit about the game.
Right.
So, okay, why are you talking about this? Let me do it. Ooh, I'm big timing you. Because you don't even watch football.
I watched the Super Bowl. Listen, our show doesn't even take place in the football season, all right? So I don't have to, okay?
Well, I do, and I want to, because it's the biggest game of the year. And, I guess everybody watched the game. I could hash it out and say how many first downs there were and everything.
Yeah, everybody pretty much knows that stuff.
The angle I want to hit is, I was talking about this with one of my Green Bay buddies. He's from Wisconsin. And about how he feels about the Favre-Rodgers comparison now.
I think people need to stop comparing them. Is the problem.
Okay, let me hear. Don't they
both have one Super Bowl ring?
True.
That's it. That's all. That's the comparison. That's all I got.
Well, that's okay. That was the only real kind of comparison people were making. Is that what's that?
I said, isn't one pigeon code?
No.
Apartments, two pigeon codes.
Ooh.
All right, you're derailing me.
I'm derailing.
Yeah. Anyway, so something happened.
Tony Romo used to do the walk.
Oh my God. All right, so the argument, yes, is that he hasn't won it, but it is only his what is this? His third year, fourth year? I think it's his third. Leading charge. You don't want the job of the guy that takes over from the legend. Usually, at least you want to be the guy after that guy, because you want to see the replacement, the new guy, fail. So at that point, there's nowhere to go but up. But I think Green Bay is extremely lucky, because there's a lot of franchises that go through this rebuilding period after they have that one really good quarterback.
Win trade and what?
Well, Troy, I mean, that's kind of a relatively short turnaround, I guess, from finding your franchise quarterback. It's 10 years. That's a long, hard to watch. Well, no, but I would still argue that Romo is still a top 8 quarterback in the league. But I think I was talking to my buddy, and I wanted his opinion first, and then I give him mine, and he said basically the same thing that I did. Is that for some reason, I guess by numbers, like Aaron Rodgers is never going to reach some of the numbers that Brett Favre did. It's just not happening, especially the starting three. Yeah, I mean, especially
most people just.
He didn't start until he was 26.
Yeah, I'm not sure how old Rodgers is. I think he got drafted, and he sat on the bench for 3 years. He was going to have to sit for 4, and then Green Bay decided to make the change. So he's probably around 26.
He could
He's
easily.
probably almost 30 now.
I don't know. This is where show prep comes into use, and
This is where our producer comes in. Let's do this. Bam.
Anyway, we'll look that up, and then I'll progress with my point. But for some reason, yes, they are comparable now, or they're not. I mean, they're at least comparable. But
if not comparable, they're at least comparable.
Yes, there's something to be said about what Brett Favre did for that organization. People forget Green Bay sucked for a long time before they got Favre, and he basically pulled them out of the dregs of the NFL, single-handedly. And he had a lot of good people coming up whenever he was playing, but to be a benchmark, I mean, he had one losing season his entire 15-year career there. That says a lot. No matter where you're playing, what division, how difficult it is, to have 15 14 out of 15 winning seasons says a lot for you. To put up the numbers he did, to not miss a game, and I don't think Rodgers is going to reach that. But now you kind of have to table the debate of Rodgers or Favre, because Rodgers is vindicated. Now he doesn't have that shadow.
Well, and he can easily, the one number he can easily shatter now is
27?
He's got plenty of time to win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, and
that's the one stat he can take.
And if there's a team,
easily get multiple Super Bowls under his belt in his career.
If there's a team that's fit to do it, it's Green Bay.
I didn't say Super Belts.
Yeah, you did.
Super
well,
belts?
Aaron Rodgers did get his champion, his
stupid title belt.
Yeah,
stupid.
That was pretty awesome, actually.
So, okay, Green Bay lost 15 people to IR. That's insane. That's a lot of man hours to games lost. How do they say that? But that's a lot of. You lose Jermichael Finley in week 1. Ryan Grant week 1. Jermichael Finley, your star tight end in week 2, and then you're playing, and multiple other people go down. Al Harris is out for the season. Their star corner. And to do what they did, they went.
Yeah, they lost their star player right in the middle of the Super Bowl.
And they had to play 5 win or go home games, and they had to get in on the only reason they got into the playoffs is on one of the most inconceivable plays in NFL history, the Deshaun Jackson against the Giants return. That's what got them in the playoffs. So their whole trip has just been a trip. Is that redundant? Yes. So for them to do that, I think that's amazing. You can't take it from Aaron Rodgers, but for some reason, as much as I think about it, I don't think that you're ever going to be able to compare Aaron Rodgers to Brett Favre. I don't think NFL-wide, maybe Packer lore, you might be able to do that someday. What if Rodgers wins 3? But I still think that Rodgers is a very consistent player. He is a plateau. You know what you're going to get with him. But with Favre, he just would make these ridiculous, horribly bad decisions, but he'd come back and pick himself up and just go way above and beyond and make some ridiculous pass at the right time.
Romo to Aikman.
Yeah, there's no.
I mean, at what point do we stop?
You just need to stop. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's a different player. He's not. That's not his goal. Is to go out there and beat all of Brett Favre's records just because they played on the same team. I mean, it's just I think the comparison
have to beat Brett Favre's record.
I think
to be the best quarterback Green Bay ever had.
Right, and
that's like saying the best quarterback the Cowboys have ever had. You got Bart Starr, you got Brett Favre. Those two alone, pretty bad, good bad. They're pretty handy. I mean, just like saying Romo is going to be better than Staubach or Aikman. You know, it's. I think that is comparable, but I don't know.
I think this season there's plenty of justification to compare the two with the season that the Packers had and their success, but I think after this season, it just needs to kind of go to the wayside. I think people just need to get over it. It's a different player. It's a different, and it's just there's no point.
Well, I think
it doesn't matter compared to the other quarterbacks in the NFL. You know.
Well, he's jumped up there. He's definitely top 3 or 4. Now people would argue with he's higher than that, but I mean you still got Brady and Manning, and so would argue Breeze, and then you might go with Rodgers. But I don't know. He just won a Super Bowl, so like you said. But all those other guys before mentioned up on one Super Bowl.
So, I mean,
well, he was flawless, and that's the other thing I want to get to is the Steelers. They did not have a very good game. I think the reason I couldn't go with the Steelers because I might be a Cowboy fan, but I like to think I'm fair in assessing odds and talent. I don't really buy into the hype of Ben Roethlisberger because he does throw a lot of interceptions. People don't understand. Like 2 or 3 years ago, he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. It's not very good. But one thing I can say about Ben Roethlisberger is that when he does come up, usually he really comes through when he needs to.
Yeah,
like against the Cardinals,
the
game-winning touchdown against the Cardinals, that was perfect. That
years ago when they won the Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah. Well, just like at the Jets game a couple of weeks ago, that 3rd and 18.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, that 3rd and 18. That's where he shines.
Right.
But
he's amazing under pressure, and other than that, he's above average. I mean, he's still good.
No,
that's his bread and butter. When he's under pressure, he can perform better than most guys can under that kind of pressure.
But he has way more propensity to do what he did in the Super Bowl and throw a lot of picks. I'm just not sure he's the best of 2 quarterbacks. Although going into the game, it was a tough call to make, but I went with Green Bay, but because I do like Pittsburgh's running game, but their quarterbacking wasn't that good. Now, if Pittsburgh was going to do like they did against the Jets and take 9 minutes on their first drive and just make long scoring drives like that, they would control the game, because then you wouldn't need Roethlisberger to perform like Superman, and you'd have your running game going. And you know how big that pick six was. That pick six was huge.
Oh my gosh.
So whose fault was that pick six? Was that just Roethlisberger underthrowing that, or was that
what he did is
I don't know about their routes and see, because I don't follow the season, but it looked like just an all throw.
They said, they talked about on the broadcast, is that he tried to pump fake, but if he wouldn't have pump faked, if he would have thrown it out right, he would have had time to get the ball out. But he pump faked, and that. Wait a minute, I'm talking about a different play, aren't I? Is it the same play? And then he got bumped into, so he kind of did throw it up. No, I didn't talk about the same play. Yeah, because that pump fake gave the safety time to come over and pick the ball off, because he read it, and if he wouldn't have pump faked, it wouldn't have given. Usually when you're pump faking, you want to pump fake the other side to keep the defense on that side. He pump faked that same side. Notice he wasn't taking his eye off his receiver. He was going to him. That, on top of the fact that he got bumped into because he took too long to get the ball out. That was a formula for disaster. And that pick six might have been
the momentum they got off that pick six too, let alone with the points.
Well,
but just the mindset they put them in, they could see like they could win this. Like once it's there, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's that close. I mean, they're just going to play so much harder. And
well, then that separation of points also took the run game away. You're not going to run when you're down that much, and that's exactly where I think the Packers D wanted them. You want Ben to throw. You want, because I'm not sure what their plays past 20 yards are, but I'm wanting to guess it's not very high. It might be middle of the pack in the NFL. Yeah, that's not what they do. They run and they dink and dunk it. They want to do that bubble screen. They want to do that short out. They're not going to air it out very often. Now, I mean, they did against the Jets, the Heath Miller, that first one, the early play, but they're not going to be doing that very often. They're going to rely on Roethlisberger's improvisational skills and his feet, which seems weird because the dude seems like a damn truck.
Well, that's why. Would you think that's why they actually went after and took from Jacksonville a guy like Twitch? I mean, they like a guy who's willing to sit in the pocket. They did. You know,
yeah, they like those big
quarterbacks,
fat Fs. So
they didn't get that New York Giants backup quarterback, that 280-pound monstrosity.
Oh, Kerry? No, well, I almost said Kerry Collins. Whenever he's playing with the Giants. So that, and I just thought that Aaron Rodgers was that much better quarterback than Roethlisberger, even though they almost have the running game is non-existent. And in fact, you didn't even see John Kuhn. Well, I thought it was going to be a huge factor.
That Starks guy.
The other part.
That Starks guy's good. If you ask me, he's better than Jacobs, and he's giving Grant a run for his money because I think Grant is very, very spare.
Where was the other big part of the Steelers game is where was the steel curtain, you know?
Well,
how many times did you hear Polamalu's name?
Polamalu had an awful night.
He's their star. I mean, I didn't hear the announcer say his name one time.
He made one good tackle. Unfortunately, it was after the dude put his foot in the end zone.
Right.
He knocked the living crap out of Grant Jennings.
But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't show up.
So there's the Super Bowl. Boom.
One star not doing anything, the other one throwing interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wins the turnover battle, I would have said would win the game. But, I mean, who knew that Roethlisberger had 3 picks?
Yep.
But as a Cowboys fan, I will subjectively say that good. I don't want that separation to get any further.
Well, enough to mention the Steelers have way douchier fans. So
I can understand the whole, we're from Pittsburgh, we're tough, I live in a crappy house and I work a crappy job, so I want good football. I understand that and I appreciate it, but I just still don't like them.
Yeah, they're asses.
And why the hell can't they get a decal on the other side of their helmet?
That's kind of cool. They're kind of sticking with their old school tradition. I don't mind that.
What is that, though?
I have no idea what the
So I thought it might actually be. It's back,
All right.
Back in the day, I'm pretty sure, that city is making a lot more money than that team is than they used to. Maybe it's just one of the tradition things that they couldn't afford to have the paint on both sides. But I mean, every other team does, except for the Browns. They don't have any logo.
That's why it's kind of cool, is because nobody else does it though.
Maybe it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just wearing the earring on the wrong ear.
I don't think that would affect the paint on the helmet so much.
Well, the logo on the wrong helmet means you're gay.
Oh.
Right.
So all the other teams are bi?
No, they're in the middle because they got both of them. They're at least not indicating that the gay ear.
It's only bi week.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Busting out jokes.
The hot
These guys
sports
jokes.
opinion. Something else we didn't really talk about that probably needs to be addressed is we're not necessarily proclaiming that we're sports experts just because.
Well, Johnny is. I'm
not.
not.
Here's the thing. I'm really just kind of representing the average sports fan. You know, I'm not overly into it, but I do get into it, and I'm probably a little above. I probably know a little bit more than the average guy. Ryan here, he's probably going to be more of the expert. I don't know if you noticed.
I'll just
That
talk
makes
more.
you
I
sound
just blow more
smarter.
air.
So,
Blow enough air, people think there's a tornado. Right?
So, you said football is not your favorite sport.
Right.
Not even in your top four.
not in my top four.
Okay, what is your top four, Ding
right.
Dong?
Here we go. I don't think there's an order to my top four. It kind of moves around really depending on what season it's in. I get into one more than the other, and they don't really hold their positions. But we got MLB,
What's that stand for?
NHL, NBA,
That too.
and my new favorite, English Premier League soccer.
Oh, yeah, that's a new one for you.
Little
It is.
EPL.
Like as of
and-
last weekend, right?
Right. Last weekend, I decided I was going to take out English Premier League soccer and give it a shot because I've heard a lot of people saying, you know, like I watch the World Cup like everybody else does, or you know, Olympics or whatever, but and it sucks. It's not very entertaining. I've heard
Hockey this last year was
It was great.
hockey's great.
The U.S. and Canada.
Hockey's great. Olympic
the
right.
greatest game ever.
But the difference between soccer, that soccer, and watching it on its highest level in the English Premier League is it's totally different. It's amazing.
Okay, no, hold on. Let me
Bad.
stop you right there. Because I do like soccer. I played it when I was played for like 10 years growing up. And I am like,
I also played.
oh,
Yeah.
oh
How about that? How about that?
Oh, what? We play soccer.
Pretty
What do you
big
think
time.
about that?
Pretty big time.
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew us. But
Yeah.
we played soccer. Anyway, so I'm like it just happened. I'm like the minority. Now I can actually sit down and enjoy and watch a good soccer match.
I think it's
A lot of people think it's boring, but I think it's
Well, here's the thing. Everybody thinks it's boring. Haven't sat down and watched a real match. I always bash soccer, and I never actually sat down and watched a game. I mean, like I said, maybe World Cup or something like that. But this is like, yeah, okay, in NBA, there's basketball leagues in other countries also. But all the baddest players from all the countries, when they want to go big time and play at the highest level, you go to the NBA. Well, that's how it is with soccer and the English Premier League
so you're saying
and the Champions League.
you're saying like the international tournaments, the what do they call it? The not the CBA, it's collective bargaining agreement,
World Cup, sure.
not the World Cup of basketball.
No.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
Basketball, you talking about that?
Yeah, I forget what it's called. Anyway, so I'm very sportsy today.
Anyway, but I've gotten into soccer recently, and yeah, after watching a couple of games, it's in my top four.
I actually
It doesn't
love.
take much to get football out of my top four.
Yeah, so it might be saying a lot or not enough. But I'll actually tell you, I was having this discussion with Kyle like a couple months ago about like probably the greatest sports moment I've experienced in the past 10 years came from this summer's World Cup and Landon Donovan winning it over Algeria
With seconds to go.
within stoppage time.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was what really kind of started getting my interest in soccer. And then I kind of forgot about it, really. And I don't know, it came up here and there, and I finally decided, you know what?
That was sports orgasming for me. I can't explain to you how like genuinely exhilarating that was. It was something that I couldn't explain. Like whenever I was seconds away from telling my nephews, hey, if we win this game, swear to God, I'm going to Walmart and buying you everything you want. Seconds from saying that. Because I watch enough soccer to know how that stuff goes. That does not happen.
Yeah, I wish
You
I
do
had
not
been more
score in
into
stoppage
soccer when that
time
happened.
in the biggest tournament in the world.
Right.
And they went in from 10 seconds, they went from out of the tournament to winning the group in 10 seconds.
Yep. It was amazing. I wasn't even remotely into soccer. I watched that one game, and I knew it was awesome. I wish I had been more of a soccer fan when it happened, so I could have really appreciated it. But it was still. I mean, we were watching it actually. Maybe I shouldn't say this on the air. We may have been watching it at work while working, but we were screaming.
I think you're safe, buddy. I don't think anybody's watching.
Ooh.
That's true. I don't think my mom cares.
You got your
Also, Johnny's gay.
Yeah, I'm married and have a kid, so
Whatever.
I don't know
I know what
how
you told
far
me
you're going
about
to get
30
with
minutes
that.
ago.
How does that work for you then?
Yeah, John, how does it work for you?
You stay under the radar. Yeah.
No, but seriously, like I when that happened, it was like a high school girl getting picked for some beauty competition. Me and my brother-in-law started jumping up and down, screaming our heads off.
So
I picked both my nephews up on
It was the
each
Susan
shoulder,
Boyle of sports.
around the house, screaming my head off.
So you've always wanted to win a beauty contest?
Always wanted to, dude. Come on, look at me.
Oh,
Look at me.
so that
like
was his
I've
last-
always
right.
wanted to. Come on,
That was the next best thing, is winning that.
come on.
Winning a beauty contest.
Fooling yourself, man. Look at this grill.
You have to open your mouth to show your grill.
I always got second prize.
Not that one.
I'm sure it came from the
Yeah,
movie
right.
chess card. Monopoly joke? No.
Do we have a cricket sounder? Like a
Yeah, I need some tumbleweed. A cricket riding a tumbleweed.
Something along those lines for the show.
All right. No
Where-
Monopoly.
No love for that. No love for that joke, Kyle.
I still love you.
So,
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's because you're closet gay.
Well,
hey, speaking of sports and stuff, you like sports, dude?
sports.
Oh,
Whoa!
Oh, there it is.
Little late, but still good. Still good.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. It's good. It's good.
they were really
part of
bored,
me.
Kyle. You were really bored. You hear how loud that was? Actually, I did not know this, but ESPN was set up to host Friday Night Fights out in Fort Worth. They totally missed it. Sergio Moro was fighting.
I don't know who that is.
Dude, do you know who that is? Sergio the Latin Snake?
Oh, the Latin Snake. I know who that is.
I'm going to punch the shit out of you.
Wasn't he performing at LeBare's too
Oh,
on Thursday night?
God, man.
Get
You're
it?
just drowning us with the gay innuendos.
because of
Guy's
Latin.
got to earn a living, man.
Oof.
Yeah.
No, he was the winner of the first of two, only two seasons of The Contender on NBC. That boxing reality show. Dude, people hated it evidently because
They
nobody
should
watched
bring
it,
that
but
back.
I
That was
love
pretty
that
cool.
damn thing. That was
Yeah.
good. And it might have been, contrived fight scenes, because the thing about people
Right.
complain about Rocky is that the fight scenes are unbelievable. 'Cause the guy's
Yeah,
like,
it's stupid.
he gets hit and he sits there.
They're
He
not
gets
throwing
hit, he
haymakers
gets
the
hit.
whole time in a boxing match.
That's
That's all that is.
Those were clipped up and edited, so to speak, but for the most part, all it was different camera angles. They never actually, got the guys to do this shit. They were really fighting,
Yeah.
but, they just put music to it, and they slow down some points and speed up others. That's fine, but they're still actually fighting.
Yeah.
It's maybe more
Do you
believable than American Idol when it's all about, I don't know, he might have won. Yeah, I liked him better. He sounded better. Like, this one's like, dude, whoever knocks the other guy down wins.
That show would do a lot better if it wasn't on like a network. Like they would do better on like Spike TV or something like that. Like along with The Ultimate Fighter.
Well, I think the thing that hurt it is that it was boxing, and people don't watch boxing. And B,
I think
that
there's a lot of boxing fans out there. I bet there's enough. I
think here's what I
there's
think.
not enough to put it on
Nobody
a
watches
big
it.
network.
We were
You got to
actually
put it
talking about
on.
this at lunch today. People only watch main event boxing. Nobody watches.
Right.
No, the more shitty guys, and even then, when people watch the main events, you get one guy buys it, and 50 of them go to his place.
Right.
So it's not something that's going to be drawn very well. So whatever the case was, he won the first season of Contender, and he's actually gone on to have a pretty good career. He's only lost twice. I want to say he's like 13-2. He's only lost twice, and the second time he lost was this past Friday in Fort Worth. I would have totally gone down there and saw that, man. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
It was a good fight too. So
Why didn't ESPN?
it was on ESPN too.
Oh, it was okay.
Yeah, and then I was like,
Where did they?
it looked like the convention center, Fort Worth Convention Center. Yeah.
That's what was going on there.
Yeah, dude. I would have totally gone down for that. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
See, now I got food poisoning. the first Pacquiao fight, and I didn't get to go to that.
That would have been, yeah.
I could. Oh
been
man,
awesome.
my buddy got upgraded like 3 times. $150 seats by the end of the night. $750 tickets,
And
he met Barry Switzer and Jason Terry.
And that's at Jerry World too.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
That would have been nice.
Thank you,
No, it
Taco
was when
Bueno,
they're-
for giving me diarrhea out the butt.
They're obviously not one of
Doesn't
our
make any
sponsors.
sense.
Oh, bad news, guys.
Oh, we just got. Hey guys, it's just in. We got Taco. Never mind. They're
Taco
pulling
Bono
it.
over here.
They're pulling the advertisement. Thanks a lot. Yes, the end. So anyway, yeah. So this was a hub for activity this weekend, and too bad the weather really killed it. So we all couldn't have got out into it.
Yeah.
No, the weather
Good
was
comeback,
a lot of
Johnny.
fun. I mean, it really was-
Yeah. What he said.
Jeez.
Yeah.
People drive around like they've never gotten behind the wheel of a car before.
Yeah, it was probably didn't bode well for us when all these people are in town for the Super Bowl and they are both from cities that are used to this kind
Yeah,
of
they're used to handling
and
it.
they think
They're used to this kind of weather, and they're also used to their counties, cities, states.
taking care of it.
Yeah,
Right.
we're not going to bust out our plow. We're not going to.
Yeah, we're not going to bust out our only plow, okay?
Oh, we got one plow working around the city.
Our county maybe had the ability to buy a snowblower from Walmart. You know,
Yeah.
like pushing around on the street.
Yeah.
Go around.
Yeah, you know,
Go around.
I think even up there they don't get full on just ice though.
No.
Because it doesn't matter how used you are to it, you can't drive on it. It's not physically possible.
Yeah, and snowing over the ice, that makes it, it's just you don't know what's going to happen.
Well, it just gives you false courage. You get going because you get a little bit of traction from the snow, and then you hit a patch of ice and you die.
Yeah. Nice. Sweet.
So
I
I don't know,
guess.
I think a couple of. Do we want to foreshadow anything for Wednesday's show? I think we need
more
to talk
sports.
about.
How about we can talk about that Stars game the other night?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, the 3 fights in 4 seconds. Okay. What we can talk. How?
Well, no, let's not talk about
Okay,
it.
we're gonna-
That's tease.
we're
That's
gonna
good.
save it.
That's good.
We're gonna
Tease it.
save it. It was unbelievable.
Be like your girlfriend in high school and tease.
Right, what he said. And I think probably we need to talk about the possible Michael Young trade scenarios now that
If
he's
it hasn't gone
openly
down by
requested.
then.
It doesn't sound like they're going to be able to make anything happen, according to old Ryan. But we'll talk about it Wednesday. That's a little tease there. But
Nice.
I don't know. It's always a big deal when the face of your franchise is going to go somewhere else, whether it's a mutual agreement or everyone's pissed off about it. But it'll be a big story.
It's a huge story, especially since his history with the club, moving from first to short to third. Just not the first, excuse me, from second to third, or
And not
short to
mention
third.
how they've been talking about, how he's okay with all these changes and he's on board, and then one day, today, it comes out, you know what, I'm not on board. I'm not happy
Yeah.
with being the DH, and I want to go somewhere else.
Well, whenever they want to put Tiny Elvis at Shorty, and they
He's
moved him
better.
to third, he wasn't happy with that at all. But then he came around and, once he saw how Elvis was, oh my God. And once he saw how Tiny Elvis was, he said, that was a good decision. So,
Obviously, yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Listen, here's the thing.
you can't jerk a guy around like that. And I don't blame him for wanting that, but I almost also don't want him to go. He has been such a good trooper for this club.
I like-
Been there when we needed him.
I like he's been clutch. His playing level isn't at the point where that's why I want him to stay.
I
I'm
think
not
he's a
impressed with his
defensive
play.
liability.
I like what he brings to the team for morality. He's got the
Morality or
Yeah.
yeah
okay.
He definitely makes
He's very moral.
Yeah.
more ethical.
yeah right. He probably does. But anyway, he
Morality.
what is
He's
what is
very
the
moral.
word? The,
He never cheats on his wife. That's why everybody wants him there. Never
it doesn't
steals
matter.
or lies.
Anyway.
He doesn't gamble. He doesn't lie. He doesn't steal. He's very moral.
It would have been really nice to see him win with the Rangers. That sucks that he's going to have to go, especially if the Rangers end up pulling a bunny out of the hat again next season, which is a possibility. But I don't know. We need to save it for Wednesday.
Package dog.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It'll be sad to see him go.
So